Sheffield United, WFC.
Good evening and welcome to Sheffield United WFC. It's the Ben and Matt Saturday Night Live show coming to you again, once again live. I think this is the first time we've been live for 2 weeks in a row without having to do a pre-record because we're always busy people. How are you, Matt? Anyway, you good?
Yeah, good, pal. Just nice chill day. Weather's back to being nice. So, yeah, caught up with the football and that's been my Saturday afternoon.
Great to have John Foster so early in the comments. He was about half an hour early as usual. Then he's like, this half-7 starts killing me. And then woke up this morning feeling fine, got Skinner's playing the way. Yeah, I wonder if he's been on the old Doolar again, hasn't he?
Juice.
The juice, yeah, the juice.
This morning with hangover, he told me.
Wouldn't surprise me. Oh dear.
There's the new song for you.
Yeah, evening, Robert. How are you, pal? Nice. Robert's always punctual. That's a punctual person there for you, John. Well. Yeah, he knows. Robert knows now. Anyway, kicking things off, pal. Tara Bourne signing her first professional contract for Manchester United today, and then going out on a season-long loan to Sheffield United. First of all, how pleased are you about about her signing her first professional deal with the club? And secondly, about her going out on loan to Sheffield United.
Yeah, happy with the new deal. I think, something we talk about with academy players, I don't feel this non-contract stuff does them any favours, and I don't think it does the club any favours either. I think, for those that don't know, players can't sign a pro deal till they turn 18. Now, she only turned 18, I think it was last month, sometime in July. So I think, to tie her down is what we need to do. And, it's the same for a few other devs as well. I think the way it works with their contracts is basically if we don't tie them down or we can't tie them down due to the rules, then we lose them for nothing. And I think, there may be a very, very, very small training fee given by the new club, but it's not, nowhere near substantially enough. So to tie down her, first of all, is a great start. She worked hard last year. She was, involved in first team training pretty much from the word go. She made a debut as well. She was on the bench a few times, and this is just now for me the next logical step. I've said this about other devs as well. Let's get them tied down. Let's get them back out on loan if they've already had a loan. I'm thinking like Maria Edwards. And just about them minutes. Listen, Championship's a good league. It's a physical league. She'll play every week at Sheffield. It's a whole season as well, which is what she needs. None of this faffing about till January. And, I look forward to seeing her there. Hopefully we can get across and catch a couple of games. But, I'm delighted for her and for just the club and everyone in general, really. I think, fantastic. We've got her there now, sorted, dusted, signed on, loaned out. Can we do it with some more now is my next question. I think Carrie Jones, I don't know whether she'll be used and then assess it in January, but certainly Maria Edwards, Rebecca May, Chloe Williams, they'll need a loan because they're far too good for development football. Something I've talked about before as well. So, it remains to be seen.
Absolutely. Not Tara Bourne. I think she's the next one to maybe break through over the next couple of seasons. We keep saying, we look like we might be a centre half too short, maybe. But maybe we still are. Maybe we still need to bring a centre half in because if we start getting a little bit of an injury crisis like we did last season, it could really affect us. But the good sign is that she signed her first professional contract. And I think Matt Skinner and Casey Stoney before Mark, obviously, I've seen something really special in her, very unique in her. How far do you think she can go? Do you think she can become a Manchester United regular, given time?
I I mean, listen, there's no reason why not from what I've seen. I don't like, and this is just a personal thing, I don't like kind of putting that pressure on. And I mean, it's different for me because I sort of work and have worked in that section of football with like youth players and young elite players and stuff like that. So people say that, oh, who's the next best thing to watch out for and who this and that. And listen, that's, that's fair enough. Fans want to know and other people want to know, which, is great. And it's, it's a talking point. But I think given the right sort of guidance, and that's from the club and, from a family, work hard, don't let things go to your head, don't start chucking a fit if things don't go your way. I think attitude for me in a young player is a lot more than talent. Talent gets you so far. Your attitude for me is what takes you further. And I think, so far she seems to have got her head screwed on, she's not letting sort of anything as such phase her and, getting really hyped and thinking, oh, I'm first team now, blah, blah, blah. I think, listen, she can go where she wants to go. And I'd say that about any young player at Man United. You're not at Man United for nothing. You're there for a reason. John Fry, she just turned 18 last month. So, yeah, literally very young. But, yeah, as I was saying, she's got, the world at her feet. You come to a club like Man United, you're there for a reason. We all know you leave Man United the only way down. And I think that's why you see so many players. I think how hard Tooney's worked recently to sort of, really work herself into that midfield. And, credit to her because she's put in the graft and now she's got a Lioness's call up and she was probably our most important player last year. But I think, for Tara, it's just literally get out there, get games, enjoy it, work hard, listen to what people are saying, and see where it takes you.
Of course, Sheffield United, we've had plenty of players in the last few seasons going on loan to that football club. It seems that United may be having a little bit of a special relationship with Sheffield United in terms of sending our players there on loan. Do you think Sheffield United is the right football club for her? Is it the right level, the championship for an 18-year-old, or would you like to see them maybe a little bit higher?
The thing is, when you're obviously like 18, it's difficult because, you've got the logistics of, right, do you drive? If you don't drive, how are you getting somewhere? And I think, one, Sheffield's local, so we can keep an eye on her. And two, like you say, they have done well with our previous players. I think the setup there and what they do and the opportunity they give to young players can only be beneficial to Tara. And I think, that's something that for me, we do need to continue to utilise. We briefly had it with Blackburn. We sent Fran Bentley there. And then obviously I think Rambo broke a finger, so we had to recall Fran, but we sent Maria Edwards there. And I think it's just about, finding that club where the player's going to feel at home. And I think, sort of your family type clubs, you feel you're well looked after. Blackburn's you're well looked after. You're in the good coaches. Listen, Neil Redfern's worked in the men's game and the women's game. And, people might say, oh, and that, and not rate him. But, he's not a bad coach and he speaks very well. So I think, for Tara, Sheffield, like I say, it's local. It's a good club. Let's not forget, they're not like mid-table or bottom of the table. They're competing in top 3, top 4. So to go to a squad with high ambitions, shall we say, is pretty much mirroring mirroring like our thoughts and values, but in a different way. Like obviously at Man United, there's pressure to win, but it's a different scale. So I'm not comparing the two as such. I'm saying like the standard to win, the standards are there, aren't they? And Sheffield expect to be competing towards the top, and that'll put her in good stead for sort of when she comes back to United and we're, competing for trophies and trying to win games.
You touched upon it briefly a bit earlier on. Should we now be looking to sign more of our devs onto these their first professional contracts? Because for me, in the men's game, we seem to, once they get to that age of to sign professional contracts, the first United are quick to tie down the really good ones that they want to keep. And it just seems to the women on the women's side of things, it seems a bit sluggish and a bit more, I I don't know, time consuming in a way. It just seems to be very, very little, Should we be looking to tie down more of our talent as soon as they can turn the age to sign pro contracts?
I'd say so. I think the difficulty is because of this rule. But like you said, if they're of the age and we feel that, in the next 2 to 3 years, they could be part of the first team setup, why not? Obviously we don't go chucking contracts for the sake of it. But I think, we've talked about this in the past, all right? There's players in that development squad that are 18, 19, some even, I think, not far off 20, that still haven't got a pro contract. And you're thinking, well, if you get into 20 and you've not got a pro contract, I'm not being funny, I wouldn't have thought Man United was the club for you. And I might be wrong. I'm just thinking I've got a couple of players in mind. I'm not going to sort of name names and out them, but, you think, well, you've been in the development squad now. This will be your 4th season. Like, how is it still, the case? There must be something. So I don't know. They're either good enough or they're not, aren't they? And I think, if you are good enough, give them a contract and, give them a loan. At least if we give them a 2-year professional contract, give them a season out on loan, then bring them back for a year and assess it and see how the loan's gone. Then you either extend the contract or you bring them through. But I'd agree. Listen, if you're good enough and you're old enough to sign your pro deal, get them signed up and let's get them out of this development football. Because I'm not being funny. It's not a great standard. And I think the issue with that is it's not a great standard because you've got the jump of 16 to 20. Yeah. There's no 6 other. So if you're a 20, 21-year-old playing against a 16-year-old, you're not going to really develop, are you? They need to find something in between. But yeah, I do feel we need to keep the best development players that we can tied down.
I do agree with John Foster's comment here as well about more money in the men's youth game. There is, to be fair, but even they have the same problem. You look at the 21s and the 23s. The level is vast. James Garner and Dylan Levitt could piss that level of football. They need to go out on loan. James Garner's obviously got in Nottingham Forest, back to Forest, playing against Derby today. I think that's we need to start looking at more like that for the women as well. Getting them out on loan, getting themselves playing. Fully grown football, fully grown, mature adult football. I can't say the men's football because it'll be wrong. But usually, what I say is that go let James Garner go and play proper men's football, but go and play proper women's football. That's the word I'm looking for. Go and play proper women's football. Go and play against seasoned amateurs, seasoned professionals, or seasoned semi-professionals. Because they learn an awful lot more than playing, as you said. If you're a 20-year-old and you're playing, an 18-year-old and you're playing against 16, 15-year-olds, it's no good, is it? Not learning anything. But but that's another conversation for a different time, I think. We did play a game today. People might not know that because it wasn't really properly advertised. I know United chucked a few bits of bobs on the old Twitter there, but it wasn't live on MUTV, unfortunately. I don't think there've been any goals. They've not put the goals out there yet either, but unless they have, and I've not noticed it. But a 1-1 draw against Brighton Hove Albion in pre-season at Loughborough, a neutral venue. Katie Zellum scored a free kick again for the second game in a row. Matt, is that a positive sign going into the season? Do you think a 1-1 draw with Brighton?
Obviously it's hard without highlights. And by the way, I will add, there was a game Wednesday. I'm just going to put that out there, seeing as the club couldn't be bothered to tell anybody. We did play Blackburn Wednesday, just gone, and we were 4-0 up at half-time. Don't ask me who scored in the final result, because I don't know. But I will put that out there, because it annoys me when the club don't communicate. So, but yeah, I think 1-1 with Brighton. I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, and it being like, oh God, we had everybody, well, almost everybody back at some stage involved as well, and we've scored 1 goal, or the fact that it's pre-season and we sort of have the attitude of we don't care. It's one of them, not that we don't care, but the result shouldn't matter. But I still think And John Fry said, still should have enough to beat Brighton. You know, results aside and saying, oh, it don't matter and that. I think, you know, we've got to look to build. And, you know, we smashed Rangers and we know how crap they were. And I think we've got to build each week and we've got to look to take, you know, sort of ruthless side into it. And, you know, the only player missing, and I'm assuming she's injured, but again, the club's communication is absolutely shocking, was Leah Galton. So yeah, I mean, listen, you know, the cause for concern as it always has been, you know, since May when players left, is that the lack of strikers up front is, you know, a little bit worrying. John says here, scores irrelevant, passages of play. Yeah, I suppose passages of play, yeah, but listen, we still want to be scoring, don't we? You know, you scored in your passage of play and your patterns of play and your little movements and combinations. There's no point in doing them if they're not leading to goals for me. So, you know, it's great practicing them, but listen, we've got to start banging in the goals. And like I say, obviously, you know, we did play Wednesday. It's not an excuse, but, you know, we shouldn't really be struggling and scraping against Brighton. And from what I read from the match report, Mary Earps made quite a few saves to keep us in it.
Yeah, I think she
and
pulled off a double save,
post, so, you know, it pulled off a double save, I believe, and I think she's posted a picture on Instagram and there's a load of players gone and said, oh, you're outstanding quality saves today. So that tells me that actually, you know, there might have been a spell where Brighton were on top. And like I say, this is only from reading the match report. It's very difficult to sort of, you know, get into things having not seen it. You can't sort of speak too well on it. But I think for me, from players' reactions and match report and things like that, I don't know. It's one of them, though, like I say, you know, again, I'm with John with the, you know, don't read loads into it, but I'm also of the opinion that actually, you know what, barring the Rangers game, you know, which I'm not going to sort of hype, you know, we've really not scored an absolute ton in pre-season, have we? Let's be honest. You know, like I said, Rangers aside, you know, 2-2 with Liverpool. There was the Villa game as well that was at 2-0. Obviously, Blackburn, we scored a few. That's a championship side. Rangers, we got the 5. And then, obviously, Brighton today, and we sort of scraped to 1-1. So, I don't know, Paul. I don't know what you think. I don't know if you agree, disagree. But it's kind of, yeah, it's one of them. It's a weird one.
For me, it's like pre-season. It's like I always say, get your minutes in your legs, get the air into your lungs and everything, and get ready for the season. But, however, I'm a little bit concerned that if we can't beat Brighton, you know, next week the WSL starts. Oh, well, 6 days' time the WSL starts, you know. Yeah. Yet again, we're struggling to beat a Brighton side, you know.
Familiar tale.
I'm just hoping that it's just being used as an exercise, and Mark Skinner was trying out new things. But again, like you said, without any visual sort of match sort of you know, we videos or even a little highlights package, we can't really tell, can we? We can only read the words off the screen that the little report got put up on the website, you know. Yeah. Mate, I'm still optimistic, mate. I'm still really optimistic going into the start of the season against Reading. You know, I don't like to read too much into pre-season. Listen, I think we went with Louis van Gaal. We won every single pre-season game under Louis van Gaal, beating Real Madrid and all sorts. And then we went to the season and we did absolutely diabolical. So, you know, I don't want to read too much into it. But Stuart Batty, sorry, I got my readers on, by the way. I do apologise, I just butchered your second name. But you have put it on the bottom of there that Leslie has returned, got game time. How pleased are you about that, Matt? Because you're a big fan of Leslie Russo.
I'm delighted, and I think, again, I know I keep banging about Instagram. She put something like 310 days, so I think it just shows how long she's been out, how much we've missed her, how much she's missed us / football. Yeah, I think, listen, obviously we've been managing her carefully, and we do need to do that because I have said previously we struggle without her. But I think Matt's a big fan of everyone. Not quite, John. I have my favourites, let's put it that way. But I don't know. I don't know whether, obviously I'm delighted for her and buzzing, but I just feel like, you know, she got the final half an hour and I'm thinking, well, bloody hell, the season's on Friday. And I'm all for managing a player and not rushing it, because the last thing I want to see is a breakdown again in a month or two. But I just think Could she have maybe got more time? Could she have maybe come on against Rangers for 15 and then built it up to 30 and then a little bit more? Listen, she's been training since May, June time. You know, she's spent all summer in Carrington training on her own, and fair play. But again, it's that match sharpness. You know, I wouldn't expect her, and we'll touch on Stu Woolley's lineup comment after this, but I wouldn't expect her to go straight into the lineup on Friday. Possibly not even the Leicester game, to be fair. I think, you know, she does need that time. And I think, speaking of time, you know, I don't want her to come back and then fans to be like getting on her back, you know, why is she not scoring? Why is she not doing this? Why is she not doing that? Do you know what I mean? I think, listen, she's come back nearly a year out. She's just managing her body and her fitness. She needs to now be given that time to show what she can do. And listen, she might hit the ground running. You know, she might absolutely fly. She might score 2 goals past Reading off the bench. Happy days. You know, everyone's buzzing. But then she might have an absolute shocker the week after, you know, against Leicester. You just don't know. So buzzing for her. Glad she's back. You know, listen, people saw glimpses of her last year. You know, I'm sure she gained many fans from that. I'm sure people that haven't seen her play will be absolutely delighted when they do see her play with what she can do. But yeah, it's just careful now. Careful expectation. Or as the old saying goes, wrap her up in cotton wool. Not too much, but do you know what I mean? So, yeah, what's Robert saying? Supports many teams, John Rangers, that's why. Do you know what, Robert? It's not that, right? I get all these people saying, can you come watch me? Can you come watch me? We want to have you here. This is what it is, you see. Too popular, Robert. You know the score, pal. Well, actually, he probably doesn't because he doesn't get asked. But yeah, I'm going to let you, Ben, take it away with Friday's lineup. Did Thomas play today? She did, John Fry. Go on. Yeah. Sorry. Friday's lineup. Stu's comment further up.
Yeah, Stu, mate. This is going to be very interesting. Actually, there's a couple of places that look for grabs anyway. The goalkeeper situation. Now, this is where it's going to get a bit tasty, but then Mary Earps was on fire today. So as Mary Earps now played herself into starting on Friday night, because everybody's been saying Sophie Bagley's done very, very well over the duration, well, over the last few games pre-season, and everyone was like, especially coming back from Glasgow, but it was like, oh, you know, Sophie Bagley could, you know, well be starting, you know, this Friday's game, you know, just the way that she looks, the way she commands the area and stuff. But Mary Earps has stepped it up this, in today's game. You know, I'll probably go Mary Earps, you know, just for the experience and that. I don't know what you're feeling goalkeeper-wise, Matt, because I know you're a fan of both keepers, so...
I'm sitting on the fence, Benny. I'm just going to say I don't care. I don't stop saying I don't care. I do care, but I'm not like gonna have a fit. Like if Rambo was in goal, I'd be chucking a fit. But listen, she's gone now, so it's one of them. Listen, I'm happy with both, and I said this. I think was it last week we spoke about this, and I did say last week I think Baggers will start, and I still feel the same. I'm not going to change my mind on that. But listen, I'm happy. Either or for me. Not fussy.
Yeah, Ugly Bear, break the bank. I won't break the bank for Sam Kerr. She could have hit a barn door at 2 paces at the minute for Chelsea half the time. What does Sean say there? He does at least. Oh no, it's the one that you just put. Yeah, there's more demand on Matt than on Netflix. I don't know what that means, but you know, fair play. The back line I think picks itself, but doesn't it? I think owner.
Although today it was different.
Well, yeah, it's true.
And I tell you something else I've noticed. I don't think Martha Harris has played a pre-season game since Liverpool.
Do you reckon she's injured again? I know the club don't like giving us information. But it's strange that she's not even getting at least 5-10 minutes.
She had, didn't she, last year? Was it a foot or a rib injury? She had something where I'm sure it was a foot. She kept having that protective boot, and I just wonder if it's something maybe that's niggling away. Joy Amy-T had that issue with the knees where she couldn't play like back-to-back games or 3 games in a week. I wonder if maybe she's got something wrong with her foot, because Liverpool she played and then she just didn't play any others. And I looked today and she wasn't even on the bench. And I'm thinking, you know, like you, could she be injured? Very bizarre not to be starting pre-season games. The other thing is she off? You know,
it's true.
She could easily be off. So... But yeah, I'd like to think like you. I think for me, the strongest back line is Millie and Mannion, Owner and Hannah Blundell.
Blundell, yeah, I was about to say Blundell. Do you think that maybe Kirsty Smith, maybe? Or do you think...
Listen, I won't be against it. I have no issue with Smithy. You know, I don't think, for me, though, and it's going to sound harsh, but I just don't think Smithy's better than Blundell. You know, Blundell can play both sides. She's predominantly left-footed, but she played right back against Rangers, and she can play, you know. So can Smithy, but I don't know. I just think Hannah's got more experience. Listen, she's played, she's won things, Champions League. You can't drop her. As like I say, Smith is not a bad option, you know, but Smith is probably more the option where, you know, if your fullbacks are tiring, then you chuck Smithy on for the same as, you know, same energy and the pace and stuff like that. But I can't see her starting, and I know that's probably harsh, you know, but you want the best, don't you? You want improvements, and for me, I just don't rate her above Hannah. But it's like John Foster says there, you know, competition for places. So
speaking about competition for places, midfield, mate, this is where we're going to get really stuck. You can pick a number of different combinations, another number of different people, and within that midfield, Jackie's back as well. I don't know how fit she is, by the way, you know, in terms of her fitness, you know, how fit she is to play straight away, or whether she needs to still be gently brought back in. But that midfield's going to be mind-boggling because...
You know what? I don't think it will change from what it is now.
Yeah, we'll go with Zellum, obviously. Does Hayley Ladd get in, do you think, straight away? Or do you think she might go standing fourth?
I think the thing is, I'll look at it, and Ladd's another one. You know, she's been a couple of niggles and injuries, and you know she played recently, and fair play, you know. But I just think her and Jackie, you can't really throw them in straight away when they've not had a full proper pre-season. I think that'd be unfair on other players. You know, Stanley's been good in pre-season. Zellum's done okay as well. You know, Hansen as well. Leah, if she's fit. Yeah, and then Tooney just, you know, behind the front two. I think that has to be your team. I think it'd be unfair. I think if I was a centre mid, I'd feel hard done by if Jackie just walked straight into it. And that's no criticism, by the way. I just think you can't justify your spot having not trained much or done a week's worth of training and not played a pre-season game. You know, Jackie and Hayley, you know, I'm not singling one out. I think both of them. So I do think, you know, the central is either got to be Stanley Zellum or Stanley and Borisa for me. But again, it is another dilemma, isn't it? We seem to be coming up with a lot of dilemmas tonight.
Yeah, it's what I
I feel like, is it Nelly and Kelly or whatever that song?
Dilemma, yeah.
That'll be Mark Skinner, that, on Friday evening.
Surely, do we play a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3, or as John Foster says, a 4-2-1-3?
Yeah, John's right. God, don't get me mixed up with these again. I can't bloody count it.
You loved all these formations, buddy. That's why I love giving it to you.
I get myself tangled up, pal, because I'm thinking two steps ahead. It's a 4-2-1-3 because I said it should be a 4-1-2-3. So it's more like a 5 and a 5. And I know people will say, well, that's obvious. But for me, and I've said it many a times, two holding's ridiculous. So let's sack it off and let's just get bloody one sat in front of the back. I don't care who it is. Just chuck up just one person playing with 11 or 12. Depends which side the ref goes, Robert. If it's 11, then the ref's on the Reading side. If it's 12, we've got the ref. So we'll see, lad. Bit of peer pressure from the crowd. But yeah, I obviously John's right with what he says, but I do think that we need to, you know, change things up. We can't just sit on 4-2-1-3 all season. You know, let's mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, Stu Woolley agrees. I'll tell you what, I need to get Stu Woolley on the show with you, Matt, again, you know, talk about formations and tactics and that. I think you two will be absolutely brilliant at it.
I tell you what, next Saturday, if Stu's free, drop him a message and we can pick apart the Reading game.
Exactly, mate, exactly. Obviously, I think Galton and Hansen picked themselves, unless Galton was injured, because I don't think she appeared today, did she, at all?
No, she wasn't there. She was out on a date with the missus or something she posted on it. Sorry, Instagram again. I sound like I live on that.
I tell you what, at least somebody knows what's going on in the world of social media.
Mate, it's becoming addictive. But no, she was out like eating lunch or something and playing with a dog. So It just, what's he saying? Don't forget, John, don't panic, mate. It's 12:30 kickoff, pal. I'll be back for 7:30.
Oh, you know what, John? You know what our John's like? He's had one too many Fosters, hasn't he? I think he's gone to his head.
Yeah. But anyway, hopefully if Leah's fit, then yeah. If not, I don't know. Would we see Tooney or Carrie maybe? I think to chuck Carrie in would be unfair, knowing how physical Reading are. I just think she'd get kicked all over the place. So, yeah, who knows? We might see Tooney wide. Again, we're short on options, aren't we? So,
who do you think will play for the middle then? Who do you think will play for the middle as our striker? You know, who do you think will play as a vocal point? If obviously Leslie, I don't think will start. You know,
no.
Ivana, you know, she's not going to be anywhere near it yet either. But
no.
Would Martha Thomas start? Do you think?
I think she's going to have to, isn't she? The thing is, what I didn't like against Rangers was I didn't like Tooney being the out-and-out sort of outlet, and then it changed to Carrie, and then it was Fuso. I just don't think that suits any of them. But yeah, I'd agree with Nat. I think it's going to have to be. See, John says Tooney false 9, but I wasn't a fan of that. I just don't think it works. I like her behind, but I think it's going to have to be Martha Thomas, isn't it? Listen, she only missed the Rangers game.
Yeah,
you know, she played 70 odd minutes today. I really don't think with any other option. You know, listen, if Leslie was fit, it's her hands down. But I think until we can sort something, I don't like. You know me, Ben. I don't like seeing players out of position.
Yeah,
I just don't think it's fair to Tooney, Thomas, or Fuso to whack them as a centre forward, a false 9, a 10, or whatever you want to call them, or no striker. It's not for me. So. Yeah, I'd agree. Those that say Martha Thomas, I'm going to sit and agree with you. Yeah. Balls in the box. We need
balls in the box.
this is it.
Exactly,
Stay clear.
Totally agree.
False 9. It was. I'm not going to say shambolic against Rangers because you can't judge it off that, but I just didn't like it. So there we go.
John's going. Hansen have got on the wings. Tooney, Zell, and Bo Racer in midfield.
Yeah,
what he's going for.
Yeah, fair play. But yeah, so that pretty much answers Stu's question of lineup anyway. So I think
exactly.
We're not going to be too far off with that. There's always surprises, isn't there? You know, it just happens. But hey ho. Anyway, moving on. Anyway, speaking of the start of the season, hold on. We've got one more here. Now, do we have a powerful striker who can hold the ball? Can hold play and take the pressure off? Yeah, she's not fully fit.
So yeah, yes, true, Matt. I don't know.
Leslie holds it up very well. You know, I think.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that she doesn't, mate. But do you think we maybe need another striker to come in, someone that can play that sort of role? I don't know. I do apologise. I've not seen enough of Martha Thomas to know how she actually plays. Can Martha Thomas play that sort of style of play, or is she more of a?
To be fair, listen, I've not seen tons of her myself, but I think when I've seen her, she's been more quite quick and direct. Could she hold it up? Possibly. I mean, she's not the biggest, I think, you know, but it's doable. It just depends. I think we'll probably use her to that effect, to be fair. I think, you know, that's how it'll be. But we definitely listen, I'm not even going to chuck out transfer targets anymore because every single one of mine's fucked off to City or Arsenal. I'm sick of it. So I'm not saying shit, lad. I'm going to keep quiet. I'm just going to say, yes, we need a striker. I'm not happy, mate. Kennedy. Where's John Fry? He's a big Kennedy fan like me.
Yeah.
But he disappeared. Rasso's disappeared. Paris got legs on. I don't think there's anybody left. Benny off my shopping list, lad.
Yeah.
This summer, went to America. Not happy.
Yeah, just do what he say. You know what I mean, Benny? He likes a solid number 9. He does like a solid number 9.
We need one. I don't know. I genuinely don't know what we're doing, pal. We need to sort it out.
Natalie's saying we need more wingers.
Well, we do, because if Leah's kippered, what we got? Bunny to City. Nah, John, wasn't for me, that.
Just Dave keeps propping up all the time. Tobin Heath as well, lad.
Listen, I'd take her back, but I believe she's off elsewhere. So,
yeah.
You know, I think the thing is with that is that, listen, we were fortunate to get her for the year we had. And I think that, again, you know, I don't like making an excuse, but I think the lack of Champions League really doesn't help recruitment. You know, I think we could have easily, if we'd had Champions League over Arsenal, we could have easily probably beaten City to Rasso and Kennedy, in my view. and probably could have got Tobin back, but lack of Champions League just not kills it, but you know what I mean? It makes recruitment a hell of a lot
harder,
more difficult than it is. So it's one of them, but I believe from what I've read and been told that Tobin is likely off to another club. So I don't know. Listen, I'm prepared to be shocked. Might sit here in a month's time before the window shuts and she might be back in a red shirt, and then in which case we'll be absolutely buzzing. But until that happens...
Just remind me, when does the window shut in the women's game, mate? Is it exactly a month's time?
Well, not exactly. I thought it was the end of September, the 30th.
End of September.
Don't quote me on that. I might be off. I could have sworn I'd read from Rich Laverty that it was, 1st of July for opening and end of September. But yeah. Oh, Nat says
September. Yeah.
So
second. I missed the second. I just saw September.
I think she means 2nd of September. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that sounds pretty right.
In that case, then I'm completely wrong, and it's soon.
Pretty soon, yeah. Just like the men's then. That's on shut soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on now. As I said, the season is only 6 days away. What are your expectations this season, Matt? Not only just about Manchester United, but with this sort of new era of football coming in for the women's game, with the likes of Sky now coming in and putting women's football at the forefront of their huge media empire. Was he run away?
No, is it? I was putting my lights on Crocodile Dundee in the dark.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you, Stu. Thanks for joining us, pal. I'll catch up next week, buddy. What's your expectation this season? Not only of Manchester United, but as the WSL as a whole. Now we've got like a bigger, wider audience.
I think I'll start from the very start. Should I? May as well go whole hog here whilst we've got 20 odd minutes left. I think for me, the first thing is obviously Sky are on board. So I think, listen, get that done correctly. Get people on board. The thing for me is the new fans. Target the new fans. Get people in that've never seen it, or get people. What's the word? Like coming back. The ones that have maybe only been to one game, or that will be coming for a new sort of, for the new season. And we know a few people that are coming for the first time. Keep them coming back, because at the end of the day, growing it is the main thing. We could sit here and talk about United all the time, but the game as a whole needs to grow. So, get your comms team sorted. None of this faffing about butchering names. See you later, John Fry. None of this messing about commentary and all this hoo-ha. Let's get our information and our names right. Build it up the right way. I'd love to see increased attendances just as a whole across the board. I think obviously we missed out big time last year. Attendances were on the up after the World Cup in 2019. We've got home Euros coming up. What a better time than, to get involved in women's football. And I'm seeing tickets on the whole are still reasonably priced. There's a couple of strange decisions, like tomorrow I'm off to Coventry and it's costing me more than Chelsea away. And I'm thinking, how is that actually possible? But do you know what? It's still a tenner. I'm going to a game for 10 quid. I can't moan. So I think, get the TV sorted, get fans on board, get them involved. Let's really push attendances. I'd like to see more sort of be done on match days from clubs, not just ourselves, but others. Some clubs have all sorts of activities and things going on and really engage with the fans. Others are absolutely dire. I think from a United point of view, we still need to sort out travel. I've looked at other clubs offering travel, and I think this is a massive barrier affecting people attending at Leeds Sports Village. You live in Manchester and you don't drive. You've got two options: V1 bus and walk, or struggle basically, or taxi, which ain't cheap. So I'd love to see the club go, right, listen, get to Old Trafford and we're going to put on shuttle buses between 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock every 10-15 minutes or whatever, or 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock depending on kickoff time, and really push to get people involved, keep them coming back. I think that's massive for me. Keeping people coming back is the main thing. And again, just that new set of fans, even the kids, what can be done there to get them involved, to stop them disappearing down the road, or, things like that, you know, or they're missing out completely. I think it's got to be marketed right, hasn't it? And it's got to. The trouble is it's difficult because on Sundays, you know, there's girls' academy games or, you know, even girls' grassroots games. And I think what killed us, and I know it was Casey's choice, was 12 o'clock kickoffs. You know, it's hard enough trying to get to leave for anyone for 12. But I just think if you're, you know, a little kid and you're playing, you know, a game for your local team, you're probably not going to finish till about that time. So I think if we whacked them all at 2 o'clock, you know, it would be a little bit better. But you know, that's not my personal choice, but I think from that sort of aspect, that's where I'd like to see this season. Like I say, you know, in terms of Man United, I just think, you know, as competitive as we can be, you know, I keep saying I'd be content with fourth, and that's only content. You know, I'd like to see us push third, but, you know, I look at other teams' signings and depth, and I look at ours, and I think, yeah, would we be better focusing on cups? Possibly. Because, you know, it's instant knockout and depending on your draw, anything could happen. But I think, was it you or John or somebody said, you know, we're going to have to beat 2 top teams to win it. You know, further you get, obviously, you know, the better the teams are on the whole usually. So I don't know. It's one of them. But I think fourth isn't disastrous, but it's not exactly... I don't know. I don't want to say it's not ambitious because, listen, I've got ambition that can go through the roof, but I just don't feel like we've enough at present unless we make more signings to break that top 3. So, yeah, I suppose, you know, as long as we're fourth, you know, develop some youth, give them chances, loan them out, bring them through, whichever, and grow the game as a whole, I'd call that, you know, acceptable, I suppose, in terms of the season.
Do you, even with Arsenal waning a little bit themselves, do you think we can't get third? Because Arsenal are rocking as well a little bit, aren't they? Let's be fair.
Listen, it's never out of reach, but I think, you know, you look at, again, it's the forward line for me. You know, you look at theirs and you look at ours, and we just seem to be relying on one player, and that's it. And that's, you know, Alessia coming back and bagging 15 goals, which, you know, is that even going to be enough? You know, obviously other players chipping in, but I don't know. I just, you know, there's rumours of Tobin maybe going to Arsenal. I'm thinking, well, hang on, if you get Tobin, Miedemar, Paris, that's one hell of a forward line. You know, you can compare forwards all you want. Yeah, City rocking with their defence. You see, that for me will be interesting because, again, their attacking talent, you know, is pretty decent. The defence looking short. I mean, listen, I'm fully expecting Alana Kennedy to drop in at centre half because I'd be surprised. I mean, listen, they might chuck Ruby Mason, but they're thin on the ground. So I don't know. I don't feel at present we've got enough to score or outscore Arsenal or City, to be fair. You know, I'm struggling at the minute, and I don't like saying that, but I think, you know, listen, if we come fourth and we win a cup, you know, I'm happy. You know, people might say, well, we want this and want that, and that's fine. But I think for me, I'd take one cup and fourth because I still feel that, you know, if we got Champions League, we'd massively have to invest next summer because, listen, you don't want to get Champions League, play a couple of qualifying rounds, then get absolutely smashed after a game or two, you know, and not make the group stages, you know. Could happen to City now. They won the first game. They might not beat Real Madrid and then you're out. So, you know, you don't want your journey in Europe to be short-lived. You want to build and have the squad. So that's another thing. But again, it depends, doesn't it? Recruitment, investment. You know, you've seen it now happen on the men's side. So we need to sort of level the playing field now and really, back the manager, I suppose.
I know I probably asked this in a different show, but does Mark's going to have to win a trophy this season? Do we have to win a trophy? Does the club have to win a trophy this season?
I mean, I'm going to trip myself up here. The thing was, I said, yes, we had to win one this season, but that was under Casey. I think under Mark, it's going to take time to get the whole thing going. And, you know, it's going to sound harsh if I say I'm going to be surprised if we do win something. You know, that does sound pretty, but I think, you know, listen, we're capable of it and we have got talented players, you know, it's not doom and gloom, but I think Mark needs the time to properly, and I mean properly, like stamp his own authority. I don't just mean playing style, I mean the players in the squad, you know, listen, there's a 3, 4, 5 year plan in place at the club. You know, they've got certain players in mind that they want to target even now or in the future. And I just think that, we don't want to rush it. Now, like I said, if Casey was still here, I'd have been saying, listen, 3 seasons without a trophy since the championship win is unacceptable, absolutely. But that would have been on her, because she's had a time to build the club and get her signings and build what she wants. But she's gone. So I think for me, it's not necessarily rebuild. It's more a different era. And listen, 4 years still is a long time for a club of our size to be not winning anything. But again, you've sort of got to keep the realism of the fact that actually, you know what, we've lost the manager, we've lost players. We maybe aren't as strong as if we'd have had everybody fully fit last year. I compare last year's squad fully fit to this year's, and I don't think we're better off. For me, I don't know about you and what anybody else thinks, but I just, player for player, comparing it now to then, resets the word, I suppose. That's pretty much spot on. Reset. And I think, like I say, we're not miles away. It just needs, maybe a spare CDM, a winger or two, and maybe a couple more forwards. But I just, that's going to come. It's not something that's going to be, straight away an instant. And again, the winning trophies, listen, if Mark wins a trophy, I'll be absolutely buzzing, really will. I think it'd just be unexpected. I'd be surprised if anybody thinks that, we're going to be favourites for any sort of cup competition. But, let's just enjoy it. Let's see. Bristol made a final. So, why can't we? Just depends on the draw, doesn't it? It's just a look at the draw. So,
Ugly Bear with this one. Only question mark he has with Skinner is his age. And the club is a monster club where even Jose and Louis van Gaal were out their depth. Did you worry about his age? I don't even know how old the guy is. I know he looks pretty young, but let's be fair.
He's not 40 yet. I think he's late 30s.
Yeah, I was about to say, because let's be fair, though, Casey Stoney wasn't exactly that old either, to be fair, in terms of a managerial age, I suppose, and even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's not even that old either, compared to managerial.
If we're talking age, as in, is he too young because he's not yet 40? Like you say, you give an example with Casey there. I don't necessarily think, for me, age doesn't make you a good coach or a bad coach, I think if we talk about Louis van Gaal and Jose, for me, the reason they're out of the depth is because they didn't adapt with the times. Jose was playing the brand of football he played at Chelsea in 2003. In 2021, he's still doing it now. He'd done it at Tottenham, and it's very defensive and it's very, I don't know what's the word, rigid. The amount of attacking talent he's had at these different clubs and, free-flowing football he could have played. And, Van Gaal was the same. People are bored to tears. David Moyes the same. It's the same, like, with the likes of, say, Tony Pulis, he just goes to a club, they just smash it up to a massive forward. And do you know what I mean? Managing and coaching for me is about adapting with the times. You have a philosophy and you have things in place. And I don't think, sort of lack of experience or being young, for me is an issue personally. I don't see it that way. I don't think it's going to phase Mark too much. He's going to come in with his ideas. Yes, it's a big club. I'm pretty sure he understands the size of the task and it's a demanding fan base. But for me personally, no, I don't think he'll find himself out of his depth. I really don't. That said, I have said it is the biggest club he'll have managed and probably the best set of players as well. And listen, it is, there's no hiding from that. But I do think we'll be fine with Mark. I've always spoken well and highly of Mark. And listen, let's see, this could backfire. It could all go wrong for a season. And, we may need to look at, recruitment again next summer. But, that's that. But what's that saying here?
Speak about recruitment.
No, I agree. Shouldn't have to wait in January.
Because it goes there. If Skinner's thinking he's all right now, Natalie's worried about his ideas because Natalie's saying he shouldn't have to be waiting until January for backing, What do you make of that one?
I think the thing is, if we are waiting until Jan, would that not be, so to speak, out of his hands unless he goes demanding? I mean, it depends who's sort of calling. Is Mark saying, I want signings now? And the club is saying, no, wait till Jan. Or, is it the other way around? He's saying, well, actually, we'll wait till Jan. The club is saying, yeah, that's fine. Whatever, we'll back you in Jan. It's one of them. In terms of his ideas, I don't know, because obviously, his ideas are not Casey's ideas, and his 5-year plan's not her 5-year plan. So I don't know. I get the concerns. John Foster sums it up perfectly there. We missed out on quite a few players this summer. And I do think him coming in late, which isn't his fault, has not killed recruitment, but it's not helped, has it? So I don't know. I don't think, for me, Mark's ideas are going to be an issue unless we don't learn from what I call Casey mistakes, where we're setting up the tactics are the same, it's the same people on set plays and stuff like that. We need to learn, and we need to learn quick. And I think, listen, as the months go by, he will do. But, we saw against Rangers, Leo Galton putting in them corners and, quality crosses. And we knew that, but it's just refreshing to see somebody else on things, We know that certain players can hit a set piece. We know Zalem can take a good free kick. It's not rocket science, is it? But, now and then, let's mix things up. So as long as his ideas are constantly adaptive to the game and the setting and, everything else, I don't see it being an issue. But again, this could come back to bite us or me for saying this. It's a difficult one, but I'm just looking forward to it. People have the doubts over him. People have had doubts over him, still have doubts over him. That's fine. I just want to see the guy given a chance. That's all get. It's at the minute. It's just us against WSL, isn't it? Everybody hates the fans because we're best fans in the league, the most vocal. Let's just fucking put one on everybody. Let's show them. Listen, win, lose, or I think the worrying when it's necessary to worry. I get reservations. What's not saying when I say his main idea in terms of he's saying, oh yeah, no, if Mark's, I've not heard that, but if Mark's come out and said, we'll wait till Jan, then I suppose, we can worry at that. I think, to sort of say I'm happy, we'll wait till Jan. Not for me, because we're not finished. Do you know what I mean? If we're sat here, like Emma Hayes has come out and said we're finished, I'm happy with recruitment. We've got the squad, but I don't think we are the finished thing. I'm not that I'm unhappy with the squad, but I feel we need more, and I think maybe that's what Nat's trying to say, which I'm I'm clear, and I'm glad she's clarified. But I think waiting until Jan's a good idea, because we saw what happened last January onwards, and we get pegged back and cut adrift eventually, and we're playing catch up. So. Yeah, the idea of waiting until Jan is a little bit risky when there's business to be done now for me.
This just popped up in my mind. I know time's running on, but this just popped up in my mind. With the way that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer be backed in this transfer window for the men's, he's bought Jadon Sancho in, he's bought Champions League Varane in, and now Cristiano Ronaldo's coming home. Ronaldo's wages is going to be ridiculous. We all know he's earning shitload of money. Do you think now there's going to be a huge expectation for the Manchester United women's fans and fans of women's football in general that Manchester United should now be given Mark a massive budget, not a massive budget, but a bigger budget than Casey ever had? But you look at the men's side, it looks like the Glazers are sort of trying to, worm the way back in with the fans by saying, oh, you could have this, you could have that, Listen, everybody's buzzing that we bought Cristiano Ronaldo back, but I'm just thinking to myself now, are we right to expect Mark Skinner to have a bigger budget? Since they're only going to brought in absolute world-class players this summer.
Yeah, the thing about this is that the club harp on about this one club all equal ethos, and that's fine, but you want to see it leveled out, and it might, people might say different, they might say I'm moaning, but for me, it's like you said, you've backed Ole. Who would have thought, or who would have sat here in sort of June and said, right, you're going to get Sancho, Varane and Ronaldo? I think he was off your head, absolutely off your head. So obviously you talked about the big wages, that's football or men's football. But I just feel that, it should be leveled out. I should say to Mark, well, you know what, here, we're going to chuck you this. Go out and you've not got Champions League, but going off from ridiculous wages and we'll get this, I talked about before about maybe the possibility of Tobin going to Arsenal. Why can't we be looking? Why can't we chucking absolutely everything? Say, Jesus, come back, give us a year, give us 6 months, come and play in front of the fans. Emma was talking commercial there about Ronaldo. We can commercialise Tobin. Like I said before, Champions League doesn't help, but I'm sure chucking a load of money at somebody. Listen, the women's game, it's a short-lived career, but he does need to be backed for me, and he should give
James got it spot on. I know John's on about two separate bank accounts, but it's still coming from the Glazers. It's still Manchester United Football Club's money, whether it is two separate bank accounts or not.
Listen, listen, absolutely. The thing is, the time to back him is now. It is, and there should be no doubts about it. They're busy sending out. John Murty says, we're upgrading Carrington. It's done in December, and we spent 20 million painting Old Trafford, and brilliant. But fucking hell, there's two teams now. Do you know what I mean? So for me, Mark shouldn't have to go to, John or whoever else and say, any chance you can find us a spare 50 grand for this striker? We've just got some money from the LJ deal.
I think someone asked about that earlier on. Actually, I can't remember who asked about it.
Whilst you're looking, I'll carry on waffling. But there's money like that should have been reinvested. We can't just be sitting here thinking, well, actually, do you know what? We'll have a look in January. I get the assessing what we have in the squad, but surely you've got to have seen in pre-season that actually, what, we're struggling for goals. Martha Thomas not backing the manager. So for me, it needs to be done 100%. And I agree when people say, Ollie's been backed. The thing is now, I suppose the only thing it does add is there's LJ money. Yeah. I suppose the thing it does add now is pressure. He's pressured to Ollie for spending so much and bringing so many talents in. There's pressure on Ollie to deliver. I think with Mark, maybe they'll just be like, right, let's see what we get first. Right, we've done okay. Let's take it to the next level. Or can we trust him if we give him all this money? Can he spend it wisely? Because I think, to be fair, if you look at recruitment for the women's side, certainly under Casey, how many signings were hit and miss? You think of, we wasted 20 grand. I mean, people are going to say, 20 grand, but 20 grand in the women's game is quite a lot. Wasted 20 grand on Aurora Mickelson, bearing in mind that was half the Greenwood money. Half the Greenwood money on a keeper that was absolutely dire. We wasted the other half of it on a left back that was just as bad. Both are no longer at the club, and I'm talking Lotta Rockfish. Jane Ross was on huge wages and a big contract. It was a big miss. There's more examples. I'm just trying to think. Abby McManus didn't work out. She came in and then was shipped out on loan. And I can sort of half see that could potentially be a reason. Actually, do you know what? We'll just take it easy. Shouldn't be the case because it's a different manager, but you can sort of see that actually, do you know what? How many signings did work? How many didn't work? Where we at? It's just how it seems to work in the women's game. They think, well, money's short. Then what didn't work? We wasted this much money and time. Martha, yeah, just no words. just yeah. But yeah. What's Dennis saying here? I think United will wait and see for 6-7 games. Yeah, that'll be it. This is what Natalie was, I think, like I say, talking about before, is that they probably will. They will likely wait until Jan, but it really shouldn't be the case. The time's now. No point waiting until January when, like I said, we're playing catch up, and we're struggling to get by the likes of bloody Reading and Brighton. We need to just give him the flaming money. Maria Thoris-Dottir, yeah, that's another one. Jory's still out on her. I think for me, she needs this season, but again, didn't rip up trees when she came in. And I know she did talk about sort of pandemic affecting her and missing a family. I think for me, that's why she gets season proof, but there's just so many that can better. 100 million.
Women's game is crying out for one of the richest clubs at United, Chelsea, or City to throw 100 million into the game. The rest will follow suit. Yeah, 100 million is quite a lot of cash, that. But when you're thinking about it in the men's game, when Real Madrid, who are practically skint, is going to spend 180 million on bringing Kylian Mbappe to the Bernabeu, you know, who knows? Who knows? Hey, Matt, your signal is shocking.
Yeah, I just replied to that now. It's this area. Benny, you'll vouch for me on that because you're.
Oh no, mate, it's awful. It's awful.
Honestly, it's a Manchester thing. They just shite Wi-Fi and these crap TV companies / internet companies pay them all this money. It's take you for a mug.
Right, before we end the show, I want to ask you one more thing before we end the show, and then I'll let you give the spiel of what's going on next week. But before I do that, what's the one thing that you're most excited about going back to a football game or going back to see United women on Friday night?
Just let me address John's comment. Absolutely no chance. What am I most looking forward to? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I think we're back, and I've obviously had the appetite of getting back and lucky enough to go to Scotland. So I've kind of that's kind of got back and we've seen him now. So I suppose the next best thing is just being at Lee and seeing people. There's still obviously people not seen or that I've not seen. In 18 months, it'd be good to catch up with them. I think just supporting the team. Having a sing song. Debuting the new chants, getting back. I was going to say winding up the Reading fans, but I don't think they've got any, or there'll be none coming. Yeah, like Dennis says, atmosphere. I think that's it. Sing song, the chants. Being back, then looking forward to the next game. Just the season in general. I think for me, I've just been trying to go to as many games as possible. Whether it's been United or not, just getting back and enjoying myself and getting that football sort of buzz back, even like I say, even if it's not been United, I've certainly, I've enjoyed myself going to other games. So yeah, roll on the season.
Absolutely. Anybody is going to Lee on Friday. What do you have, Gaffer? What have you been? Don't tell me you've been umpiring again, have you?
No, it's too dark for that, lad.
Yeah, and this is what I was going to quote to Stuart, actually, and it's on Sky Sports as well.
Yeah,
so
and
anybody that's coming out of Lee Sports Village, even if it's your first time on Friday night, please make the noise, bring the atmosphere. We're the first ones up in front of the Sky Sports cameras. We're the first ones up on Sky Sports' brand new women's coverage of the beautiful game. So get yourself. And if you don't, even if you're not, if you're thinking, I'm not so sure whether to come, just come down. Just come down.
Quid.
Yeah, exactly, pal. It's cheap as chips. Natalie said she can't come, but sing loud for her. Yes, we will sing loud for you. Here's one for you. Have we got a chant for Blundell yet?
don't think so, no. To be fair, we've been quite poor on making new chants, I'll be brutally honest. The thing was, last year we had so much time, we could literally sit, just get the old school 90s tunes on the telly, music channels on, and just sit and faff and mess about. And this year, I think we've got boxed off. We've got Mannion boxed off. We've got Risa boxed off. We've got Bagley boxed off. Blundell was slacking on. And who've I missed off that now for new signings?
Martha Thomas, she got one.
Martha Thomas, that's it, yeah. So I don't think we've got one for Martha, and I don't think we've got one for Hannah Blundell. But listen, Karen, if you've got any suggestions, feel free. Tweet them or start the chant or something. I don't know. I don't even know what we can do. A name doesn't fit with anything. Martha and Martha, of course. We have John.
Yeah,
one's at the back with an attack. Yeah, that'll do. Natalie's saying owner's not a new signing though for this year, but yeah. Yeah, I think it's just Hannah then, it looks like. That's really bad. Poor Hannah. I don't know. We'll think of something.
I think Gareth's trying to wind everybody up and say he's got to save his voice.
Yeah, he's getting Robert on strings. Robert will be piping up in approximately 3 or 4 minutes' time.
Leicester. And if you've ever been to a women's game or Ironman support go. Just come down. Just come down. Give it a go. Give it. Do you know what I mean? Even if you just want to come for a sing-song, just come for a sing-song. Let's get this atmosphere absolutely.
Come for a social and just meet new people. Just come and do it.
Yeah. Martha. Yeah, everyone's saying Matt's saying the Martha one.
Yeah. I'd forgotten about that.
Pies are apparently the pies are okay. I don't think I've ever had the pie from there.
I've never had a pie. Also
okay.
Might get one.
Right, Matt. I think we should wrap it up there. But before we do, what's this? Couldn't wait to boo. I can't wait to boo her either.
Hey, that's my birthday weekend, that as well. So that'll be a good weekend, that City.
Yeah, I Gareth as well. Spot on there, lads. Come for a beer in the room first.
Oh, yeah, that's the plan, actually. Beer. Don't drink even beer. Beer rum for me. Rum in the Wren, eh? Rum in the Wren.
Gareth, because of his shocking dress sense and his shocking support of Leicester City.
Anyways, I was saying, rum in the Wren, bit of food in there. Might get a pie at half time if I'm feeling greedy. So, yeah, anybody that fancies the Wren, there'll be a few of us in there. Some people are going hardcore and going to town in the afternoon. So, who knows? But yeah, sorry, Benny. Finish as you were.
I think Gareth's trying to get the Elliot Golden chant going.
It's been boxed off since season 1.
Anyway, mate, we're going to wrap it up there. But as per usual, as we do at the end of the show, I'm going to hand the floor over to you of what's coming up during this week.
This is where all the bloody Wi-Fi usually breaks as well for me.
Yeah,
right?
true.
When you put this pressure on, it's BT. BT just see this and think, nope, he's not having his connection. Right, where we at? Tomorrow, we're at, well, I say we, me and John and Gareth are going watching Coventry Sunderland, catching up with good friend of the show, Reese Land, football agent Reese of Next Gen Sports. So, going to do a little bit of recording there, I think. Catch up. We've got obviously Molly Green there, Num Hartley, so catch up with them as well. So that'll be mainly on Instagram. There'll be a little bit put on Twitter, but if you want to see sort of videos and pictures, get yourselves over to our Instagram, which I will put on the screen shortly. Monday, I think John's on a big show, 2-hour special with multiple guests, discussing sort of thoughts on the team, obviously season coming back, things like that. That's 7:00. Tuesday, obviously, is my show. And Gareth's new show, I believe, launches on Tuesday as well. So if you got some time at dinner time and you've got a spare sort of 30-40 minutes, he's going to be doing, he's pre-recorded, and it's sort of, it's similar to the WSL show, but he's like covering WSL and Championship and then just running through scores and discussing all the weekend talking points. Obviously, my show's Tuesday evening, 7:00. Wednesday is a big one, actually. Wednesday is the one you want to be tuning in for. We've actually got a player for the first time on this channel. Used to play in the WSL, now a Championship striker. Very, very good player. I'm looking forward to that one. I know that's Natalie's show, but I'm just excited. I'm thinking, first ever player. So that is one, and we'll be tweeting little teasers and things before the full reveal. So Wednesday, do not miss Wednesday. If you're going to watch any show, and I'm even putting my show below this, just as a one-off, then get on it Wednesday. Thursday, we've got John's show. He's on with Emma Sean, and there might be one or two other guests as well. Friday's obviously game day, so that'll be keep an eye again, Twitter and Instagram, and seeing what we've got coming out. Saturday as well, obviously we're back. So yeah, busy week. Obviously scheduled tomorrow, catch up links tomorrow. And don't forget the all important thing as well. Most of you voted, but pass it on to family and friends. We're absolutely buzzing to be delighted for this. We'd be even more delighted if we could come away with an award and say, look at what we've won together. And I say together because, listen, us 4 or us 6, put in the work, but everybody else watching and, giving their thoughts and tweeting us and everything else, that makes the show. So, listen, if we win this, that's for everyone. So, yeah, get sharing that.
Can I just say as well? Can I just say?
Go on.
Can we cause an FA Cup upset here? Because we're like the Wimbledon going up against Liverpool, Manchester United, Arsenal's, and all these great FA Cup teams over the years. we want to be the giant killers. You know, we're going up against some really, really top people, top shows. We're going up against the very, 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 very best. And considering where we've come from in such a short space of time, to be up against some of these well-established people, well-established shows, well-established podcasts, is absolutely unbelievable. So if you could just vote for us, you know, as the underdogs, everyone loves the underdogs. Just vote for us, please. If I beg you, just for the underdogs. Everyone likes seeing underdog winning, you know. But we're just absolutely buzzing to be there. Thank you for all your support, for even getting us this far into the FCAs. FCAs, I've said that right. I need to put my readers on when I'm reading stuff off the screen. But yeah, we can't reveal the player. But as Matt said, there'll be little hints as we go, as the week goes through.
Yeah, Wednesday morning, I think, will probably be the time. But listen, any player coming on the show, it doesn't matter whether they, you know, where they play, who they play for. Listen, getting an insight from a player for them to sit down for an hour, we're massively grateful. So, hope for the first of many. We're working on some others, but yeah, and barring that, like you said, Benny, you know, FCAs, just get on it. The word to Kasabian, love the underdog, like you said.
Absolutely. Is there anything else before I end, Matt?
Anything else to say again?
Is there anything else you need to say, mate, before we end?
No, listen, we've waffled on enough, pal, as we do. We're all good. Just as long as I've got those little plugs out, it's all good, pal. But yeah,
we've got all the plugs out.
Closes on the 12th, the FCAs. So, you know, literally, that form you can fill in multiple times. I've been doing it like a couple of times a day. Phone, laptop, iPad, get the different devices out. Family and friends and all that. Work colleagues. Yeah, whoever you can. Get it shared. Tweets, the lot.
Apparently, we're singing the Molly Green song tomorrow. Sorry, John, but I won't be because I'm at Molyneux, pal. I'm up your neck of the woods, mate. Supporting
you're near us then?
They're supporting the proper United, pal. I'm supporting the real football club.
Coventry United for us, lads.
No, you're supporting. I don't know. You lot are turning so woe, so it's unreal. I tell you. Anyway,
right, I'm going now.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome show. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that you're here every week. I appreciate everybody that's here every week. You know, and if you could just FCAs, please, everybody. Even if you get your nan's cat, your nan's dead cat, I don't care. Get them voting. Just please. We are the underdogs. We need all the help we can get. And listen. For the love of God, I want to see John Foster, because he did say this on WhatsApp. If we win, he's going to walk down the aisle, do the Hulk Hogan, rip his shirt off, you know, and then
shout, all right,
roll, stutter like that, you know, like what's his name, Ric Flair, and he's going to, you know, wear his Poundland badge on as well. Hello, my name's John Foster. I'm happy to help.
It's on his shoes anyway.
Well, yeah. But anyway, I'm going to end it there because, as Matt said, we have been waffling on. So we shall see you next week, and I hope everybody has a good rest of the weekend.
See you later.
See you later.